Hello, gals. And this episode could almost be an entire mini series on the journey of building a 500K empire as a pageant coach. And let me tell you, whether or not you are starting or scaling your own pageant business, or you're just a pageant gal who loves to listen to my content and wants to really see the journey and understand the behind the scenes of how in just 6, almost 7 years this came to be. I think this is, and I know that this is going to be a really fun episode for you to listen to. And I could probably do 10 spin-off episodes about this, but I really wanted this to dive deep into the journey from being a coach in pageantry who was charging $500 per client to now generating almost 500K in revenue in under 7 years. And it's crazy. Every month, I'm looking at my bookkeeper statements and I'm like, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. And who knows, maybe even by the time that this episode drops, we'll reach that amount. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because I really want to show more women what is possible. And I'm here to lead with so much, not only purpose, but strategy and teaching you how you can do this too, if that's something that you want to create. And overall, just expansion and knowing that when the crown comes off or when your pageant journey stops, that doesn't have to be the end. And you don't have to go back to your 9 to 5. You don't have to go back to doing work that doesn't light you up. You get to find the beautiful middle in between. And it's funny, I'll see some people or hear some people online. I have a lot of business friends who will make posts like, oh, don't start a business. And I'm like, that is not me. I'm like, everybody should start a business. If you are in pageantry, you understand branding, you understand marketing, you understand like offer value, proposition in a way, and you can be a business owner, right? Each pageant gal is pretty much your own business owner, and you might as well get paid for it. And I will say it has been like the thing that completely transformed my life and really helped me see my value and my purpose long term in such a big way. So that's what we're starting with today. P.S. If you're watching on YouTube, because we always release these episodes on Spotify and YouTube, I have this like pink AI background that looks like my office. This is not my office. I totally wish it was. I mean, my office is still very, very cute looking, but not this pink. I definitely think we should get Carlos roped in to painting my entire office pink and looking like this because this is amazing. So if you're listening on Spotify, none of this matters. Okay, Maria, let's actually go into this. This is the journey from $500 to 500K. I also just wanted to shout out a couple of gals in this episode too. One is my client Mava, who had asked this question to me in our Empire program that we just recently wrapped up. She had asked, Maria, what did you do to go to 5K consistent months in your business, which is such a great question. And I kind of gave those clients who are in that program a different explanation that I'm going to share here. I'm very much so going to focus on the story here, but still, great question to think about because I think each of us, when we start a business, especially in pageantry, we're not necessarily thinking like, I want to make 6-figure years and this is going to replace my income. We kind of just start with, okay, if this were to replace my income, I would probably need at least 5K every month for me to comfortably leave my job or like cut down hours. So I understand where that thought comes from. So that was a really great question that inspired this episode. So hi, Mava from France. Bonjour. And the other girl I want to shout out, the other gal is Maya Karen, who's the current Miss Confidence Canada. Maya's always on top of it. Maya, I know you listening to this, and I know you're going to share this episode on your stories. And I just want to say it literally warms my heart up every time you do because I love this. I love the pageant industry. I love my pageant gals, and knowing that what I share helps and inspires you, and that you're listening to it, like either maybe you're in the car going to get some Starbucks, going to work, wherever it is that you are going during your pageant prep. I love it. So shout out to Maya and Mava for today's episode. And hey, maybe you'll get a shout out in the next episode if you share this on your Instagram story or you message me and let me know your biggest takeaways. But let's go into it. Scaling a pageant coaching business. And here's the thing I seriously need to start with, gals. When I tell you every single day, I could spend an hour in the morning looking back and being like, how the heck did I get here? Because it feels like just yesterday I had no idea what the F I was doing. And that I was like this baby pageant coach who just had a page online, who nobody knew, and who just loved pageants and was working as a nurse. It literally feels like this happened in the blink of an eye. And that is not super common. I do want to say, like, I feel like this has been a rapidly growing journey. I think that there's two sides to it. It could have taken a lot longer and it could have happened a lot faster. It feels like just the craziest thing that I'm in between. And I want to go into it. Oh my gosh. But the whole idea is that I'm perplexed, perplexed. Like at no point when I started taking on my first few clients back in 2019 that I would be sitting in my own office. Like it's a Thursday afternoon right now that I'm recording this. I'm looking around and I'm seeing my vision board. I'm seeing my pink chaise. I have my desk. I have all of my crowns and trophies in a trophy case, like off to my side. Like I did not know that one day when I said I'm going to start an Instagram page supporting pageant women. And then when I was at my in-laws house and I said, the pageant gal, like that's going to be the name of the page. That's what it's going to be now. Like I had no idea that we would be incorporating the pageant gal business and generating and almost hitting 500K in revenue just 6.5 years later. Like, what I want you to know is that this gets to be so much bigger. It just gets to light this spark within you to be like, wow, if that's what Maria did and she literally had no clue what she was doing when she started, imagine what else is here for me. And so I want to talk about the first phase. And the first phase of my business, I really call was like the first 2 years. And it was really the throw spaghetti at the wall and see what frickin' sticks. Okay. This was no strategy. This was no game plan. This was just, ooh, we found pageant coaching and we like it and our clients get results and we're having fun with this. So let's keep doing it. In this first phase, which was the first 2 years, everything was done by inspiration and excitement. Everything, it was just like whatever is exciting, whatever I can do to get into action, to be of service, to make connections, I am doing without thinking about where it would lead. I did a ton of free work, like a ton of free work, messaging clients, offering free sessions, doing giveaways, free programs, all of those things. And I did everything manually. So everything that you see here today, like I think it's amazing that we have AI. And I also want to remind y'all that like your gal was up here winning pageants and starting a business with no AI help. I actually had to figure out how to communicate and how to do things without AI telling me what to do. So if that doesn't tell you what type of coach that I am for you, take this as you listen. But I had to do everything and really like, I feel like a lot of it was I was trying to prove to myself and make a name for myself, which is very valid. And the best thing that I did at that point in time was I was willing to take any and all action because I was chasing the high and the excitement of it. And that was really great because it focused on enjoying the work and getting to do more of the work to get more of the feeling and not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to grow something from this. And again, that was amazing, but it wasn't until the point where I really owned this is something I want to do. Like, I don't want this to just be like the spark that I chase outside of my career or the excitement I get once every couple of weeks when someone messages me. Like, I want this to be my thing. Can I do it? Like, is that possible? How do I do that when I don't even know what I'm doing that's working right now? So the first phase, that first 2 years, it was excitement. And if you're starting out, that's probably where you're at. You're like, this is exciting. This is new. This is fun. Let me serve. Let me take action. Let me do everything, which is great, but it will typically lead, obviously, like looking back, I was definitely undercharging myself. I was definitely causing myself stress in other ways when it came to being on calls with people who weren't super serious about being on calls with me, like doing some different giveaways and promotions. And then I'm on a call and someone would leave for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, where the heck did you go? A lot of those things were happening because, again, it was like I'm willing to do everything and anything in that first 2 years. And in that first 2 years, know what's crazy, gals? We're talking about the journey from $500 to 500K. The first 2 years in my business, I made 11K. The first year, I made $1,000 because I was charging like $500 per client. The second year, I made about $10,000. I will say I have some clients who started their business with me this year. They've already made that amount. They've already made that amount. So they made more than I did in 2 years. They've already made in like 6 months time. So let me tell you, when you work with me, I help you collapse time and not make the mistakes that I did. So again, the turning point of this after this 2 years was that I didn't just want to kind of take this as as a hobby. I didn't just want it to be that like side hustle-y thing that I got excitement outside of my job because I'm like, why am I working so hard in nursing and in pageants to have all my free time just be like, I want to work as a coach? Like, why am I not committing the next 10 years to finding the way to making the thing I love, the thing that I do for the next 20, 30, 40 years of my life? right? So I had this turning point, and this turning point happened around like just at the start of year two, because I actually started the business like coaching with clients. It was January of 2019. So it was January of 2021, post-pandemic, like mid-pandemic, that my mindset started to shift from I don't just want to be a pageant coach that is an option or people consider or look at. I really want to focus on being a business owner. And hi, if you want to do this in a big way and you want to have like massive amounts of clients working with you, make massive amounts of money, and really reap the benefits of going all in, pageant gal, you can't just be a pageant professional. You have to learn how to be a business owner. Okay, like that's what it is. No, it's not always sexy. No, it's not always fun. Yes, 100 times over, I would much rather be on client calls and be making content and be working with clients and doing events and taking photos. Most of the time, I would rather do all of those things. But guess what? I also have to make sure that I understand systems. I understand brand. I understand marketing. I understand bookkeeping and all of these like unsexy things that support me having and holding dozens of clients at a time, tens of thousands of dollars coming into my bank account, thousands of dollars coming out of my bank account for expenses. So the shift that I had was that I no longer wanted to throw spaghetti at a wall and see what stuck. And maybe you feel that. Maybe right now you're doing that with pageant prep. Maybe you're doing that when it comes to your business. And let me tell you, it's really freaking hard to win, to be top tier, to have people take you seriously and want to invest thousands to work with you if you're the type who's throwing spaghetti at a wall, because people can sense that you're making it up as you go. And there's only so much belief and conviction that you can have when you really don't know what you're doing and behind the scenes you're like, I don't know, I'm just figuring it out. There's only so much conviction and belief you can have. Now imagine your conviction and belief matched with a system that actually scales and that understands how to run a business. So I want to talk about the core things that I stopped doing and the things that I had to start doing in order to shift away from I'm making it up as I go and I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall to actually being someone who could maintain and sustain not just 5K cash months, but like 10 to 20K cash months. Clients who are with me for years and years continuing on. So I don't always have to find new people. So, what I had to stop doing, biggest things, I had to stop randomly doing different offers and launches without actually thinking, like, where is this leading to? And I actually call this a very specific thing in my programs. It's called the Empire Ecosystem. And so maybe you understand this, and I'm going to use like more general pageant coachy terms. So, most coaches or most professionals in pageantry will offer a lot of lower ticket single sessions. They're relying on someone to book on their calendar, and then that's it. Or they rely on someone to book one program, serve them, and then they go away. That's a lot of what I was doing. And even though it was working, it was creating a big gap in opportunity. And so the shift was I'm not just randomly opening up my calendar, I'm not just randomly putting out an offer. Like these were the days of like nail your pageant interview, nail your pageant platform for those that remember. Instead of just offering those programs, starting and stopping, and then just like throwing my hands up and being like, hey, I'll see y'all when I see you. I actually started thinking, like, where are these clients at and where are we taking them to? And how can we put offers and coaching and a journey together so that clients continue on with me? And they're not just leaving once a program is done, once a call is done. That model works. You can do that, but it's not very scalable and it's not very sustainable when you actually want to do this in a big way full time, right? Because you're always just relying on new people booking and you never really know when. So I had to stop making it so random when it came to the programs that I was offering. And I needed to have some type of continuation and consistency offer so that clients just didn't leave after one session or one program. They wanted to stay with me and continue getting the benefits of close coaching support. So on the other side of that, what I had to start doing on the journey to 500K is I had to actually create really clear offers that focused on my client journey. So I want you all to know when I'm putting out things, I'm not just doing it randomly because I'm excited. I'm thinking about all of you. Like I could sit and think here about my specific clients and what they're experiencing. And I'm not just here to throw out random things that are exciting or fun or that I'm good at. I'm thinking like, why does this person actually need this? Like, why is this actually beneficial? And how can I speak to them in that way and really have them see big picture what I'm here to help them do? So if I'm If I'm making clear offers like this and I'm speaking about these offers very clearly, people respond to you in a different way. Suddenly, they don't just want one session with you. They want to be with you for the journey. They want to be with you for the result and for the long-term transformation. I will tell you now, gals, when I put out single sessions, like I'll randomly put like single session available for me, single session available for me, they never sell because like my clients want long-term. Like, and that's officially what they've known me for. That their journey of investing to work with me in a longer period of time, over 6 to 12 months, they're going to get so much more out of it than just like on one session where they can ask me questions and get some tips. So it does take time, but having a very clear understanding of who you want to work with and how you can work with them over time, game changer. Second thing, which is big, and this is also really big for my pageant girlies who are in competition, building a brand that people trust. And there are two main ways that I teach my clients to do this in marketing. It's through your content and through your community. But my work ethic over this last 6 or 7 years has been truly unmatched. If you want to see how I'm so successful, yes, it's because I'm a very good coach and I'm great at what I do and I care about my clients and their results. But my work ethic and the way I show up, people trust and know me. They don't just see Maria doing random actions, they see that I built a brand that they can identify and associate with, and it makes them feel a certain way. And guess what? None of that was done on accident. All of that was very intentional, not just so I make more money. It was intentional so that people get a feeling being in the pageant gal world, being in the pageant gal space. All of the pink that isn't just because we're all girls and we love feminine and pink, like it's associated with the pageant gal brand now. And what we know about people, what I've learned about people, is that people buy from people they trust, people who they know, like, and trust, right? We've heard of that statement before. And again, if I wanted to go from charging $500 per client to $5,000 per client, which is exactly like very on par with most of the payments that we get now, I had to shift from I'm branding like someone who only charges $500 to branding and marketing myself as someone who charges $5,000 per client. And there was a very big difference. And obviously, I invested in a ton of coaching. I have a website designer, a brand designer. I've worked a lot on content. I've invested a lot to get this level of understanding. But this is really like those investments at the time led me to this place where now I have so much belief and confidence in myself that I was able to leave nursing and I'm able to do this full time and I'm able to message pageants and say, hey, like this is what I offer, this is what I'm known for, and that this isn't just something I dabble in and that I don't know what I'm doing. Like this is something that I've committed my life's work to. So the key pillars of this. So again, what I had to start doing is creating offers that flowed together. And if that is like crazy to think about, like maybe that feels so far off, it's just starting to think about the people on the other side of the screen don't want a band-aid approach. They want their life to be changed. How can you change people's lives over time? How can you not just be known as like the quick fix or the one-time person and instead be known as like the go-to person who people want to stay with no matter what you're doing? Maybe you don't even do just pageant coaching. Maybe it's other things that you do. But still, creating clear offers for your clients that will take them with you years and years. And then building a brand that people trust. So again, Pink, the Pageant Gal, Chin Up, Crown On, the Pageant Gal podcast, the photo shoots we do. Not on accident, all part of the brand, all part of the know, like, trust factor. But overall, I will say like the key pillars that really have shifted, like high level pillars from the first $500 client. It was actually my first $200 client, but right after that, I was like, that is way too low. We're shifting it to $500. So $500 to 500K, our brand, absolutely content and marketing. Like we do not have over 100,000 people across our social media, TikTok and Instagram accounts for nothing, right? It is very valuable. It is very transformative content. It is not, you'll notice that the difference between what I used to do in my content and what I do in my content now, what I used to do in my content, I would post nice pictures, pretty pictures of dresses. I'll know because I'll get like the notifications from like, oh, see what you posted this time 6 years ago. It was quotes. It was photos of other title holders who I didn't work with, like international title holders that people would like, but what does that have to do with them working with me? What else would I post? I would post client wins, but not in a way that actually positioned me as an expert and as an authority. And when you think about most coaches and or most professionals in the pageant industry, all they're doing is posting their clients. And after a while, it's like, how do you choose person A versus person B when all they're posting is their clients? It just ends up being like a coin toss. Like, who do I like better? Who do I, who have I heard better things about? Versus my page now, you're not seeing random posts of random title holders I never worked with. You're not seeing posts of pictures that look nice and dresses that have no meaning. You're not seeing these like cliche quotes that make you feel good in an instant but don't activate you. Now my content is very clear and speaking to the women who I love and want to work with. And it's almost like I say, when you scroll past, like there's a reason why so many clients message me and they're like, I've gotten so much just from your free content. Like, I want to work with you because if this is what you're putting out online, what's it like to actually be in a space with you? And that's, again, all intentional. And then again, the key pillars. So brand, content marketing, client path have been huge. And those are not big. Like it's not, oh, I have to learn how to do email and video and all of these things. No, like these three things. Know your brand and what you stand for and give what you do an identity. Give it a feeling that people want to be a part of. Get really good at content and community marketing and being visible and being known as the go-to person and not just sharing basic surface level stuff that people don't care about. Be known for your voice, for your authority, and for the way you activate and move people. And then client path. I am not just known as the person who helps you learn interview questions, right? I know lots of people online who will just share, oh, like these are the 10 types of interview questions. I don't share that stuff. I don't need to share that stuff because it's bigger than that. The client path that I take, the journey that I take my clients on is bigger than you're just going to know what questions you're going to be asked. It's you are going to transform into a confident queen version of yourself who is committed to herself, her growth, her journey, her leadership that other people see in a really influential way. And when people see you in an influential way, like you become the no-brainer to vote for, to sponsor, to ask to come speak at your event, to fly you out to go speak on stages, to pay you when the minute you announce, hey, I'm starting mentoring, coaching, doing this or that. You become the go-to person for those things when you're stepping into that bigger leadership and influential identity of a queen. And that's what we do. And yes, we're going to teach you the poses. We're going to do some bevels. We're going to tell me about yourself in all the interview. But the client path and journey that I present and I talk about and I take my clients through is much bigger now. When I was only making $500 or charging $500, it was very, here's the questions you might be asked. Here are two pageant poses, very surface level things. Versus now, we're talking about a bigger game. We're talking about a bigger transformation that women get and people invest in and pay for, especially with like just so much of fast fashion and fast buying things and like fleeting feelings. There's nothing that people want more than to actually feel something more for themselves and about themselves. People want to feel connected to themselves more. They want to feel activated. They want to feel like their dreams and goals are beyond possible and like they're not just staying in the same place year after year. And that's a different type of person that we talk to now that we're on the other side of making almost 500K now. And I love it. I love it. We still get the pageant stuff. We still do the pageant stuff, but now we're growing into how women get to see themselves. And so some of the biggest like lessons and takeaways that I want you all to listen to, because I'm like, ooh, I have so many things that I want to share when it comes to this, but biggest lessons wherever you're at right now, the biggest thing that you got to have in shifting from that, pageant gal, pageant coach to business owner, like some of the things I had to do is really belief and conviction. Like I know that I was meant to do this. I knew this when I was starting, when I took on my first, after I took on my first client. I knew this when I signed up for my first program, my first coaching program. I knew this when I left nursing. Like I've always said, this is obviously not easy. It takes work, but like I just know I feel it in my gut that I'm meant to do this and I believe in myself so much. And because I believe in myself, I show up for it. I show up for this 10 times more than what anybody else would. So you got to have the belief and conviction. The second piece of this is you got to be consistent. Like results are not just given out to those who are like half in, half out, who are giving like 45% energy. Like big payouts big opportunities, people respecting you, that doesn't happen when you're posting on your social media once a week. Like, give me a break. That is like not the bare minimum in the pageant gal queendom. If you want something, it's about work ethic. And you got to put in the reps so that people can see and start to know you as some type of way. So consistency, and guess what? Nobody ever had to tell me to take action. I was taking bad, worse, awful, just all of the action that didn't make sense at first, but I was taking the action and then I got better. There's nothing harder than trying to help someone get a result who's not moving. And this happens in both pageantry and business. If you're not moving, it's a lot harder that you're going to see things. It's going to take a lot more time. And then the big thing, and this goes for both pageants and business, baby, you got to play the long game. You don't know when the crown is going to come, no matter how much you feel it. You don't know when the launch that you're going to have or the program that you're going to have is going to be like the click in the mind of like, oh, okay, I got this. Like, this is it. This is happening. The clients are coming in. You just don't always know when the result or the action or when the actions that you're taking are going to lead to those results. And so you have to play the long game and be in this for the long haul. If you just started this year, but you're expecting six-figure years, and you're only going and doing this for like an hour a week, it's just not going to happen. Same thing, if you just joined your pageant and it's 2 months from now and you're upset because you don't win, we need to be putting in a little bit more effort. We need to be looking a little bit more like long-term vision, big picture, because really great results and realities worth having take time. And imagine had I stopped after that first 2 years when I was in like the first phase of growing my business and coaching. I could have stopped, but I was in it for the long game. And I said to myself, like, if this is going to take me 5, 6, 7 years, I'm going to still be here doing it. Because what's the alternative? Regret. And I'm the same way in pageants. I said the exact same thing before I won my international title with RIM. I said, if this takes me 10 years, I'll do it. And it just released the pressure because it was like, oh, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to live with regret and fear. Like, I'm still going to go after it. It just might take some time, and that's okay. And because of that, the game actually, the not only do you play it a little bit better because you're thinking, okay, it doesn't have to happen on a certain timeline because I don't get to control the timeline. But it's like, I trust that it's going to happen and I'm going to keep taking action no matter what. I'm going to keep showing up for it. I have so many things, so many good things that I want to say. But overall, I think it's just immense gratitude. Like, this is the best thing that I've ever done. Getting to work with the most amazing women. Like, if you are listening to this, I hope you feel this in your soul that I've I can't believe that I get to do this with you. And that I get to support you and see you in the bigness, in your vision, in your goals, in what you want to be doing. And especially because a huge part of the business on the business coaching side has really taken off this year. And I'm hearing my clients open up like about these bigger dreams and goals that they haven't even admitted to themselves because there's no one in the space really giving them the opportunity to think like, oh, I can be a business owner. I could actually be an entrepreneur. I could make a ton of money and have freedom and love the life I live on my terms. There was nobody doing that. And now there is. And while, trust me when I say it's scary, it's edgy, there's going to be some people who don't resonate with this. There's going to be some people who are like, why are you doing this? But I'm not here for those people. I'm here for the gals who are maybe sitting at home, who get messages from people asking you, like, oh, would you like to help me? Can I hire you to coach me? I want to learn about this. Do you know anyone? And you're thinking, I can do that. I should be doing that. What would it be like? And maybe you're not even thinking about making 500K in 6, 7 years, but you absolutely can be. It starts with, of course, you have to know and own your bigger worth. You have to be raising your standards and you have to be willing to step into your own bigger empire that you are here to lead. If you can win pageants, if you can be on stages, if you can talk about yourself in front of judges, you absolutely have the capacity to build an empire way bigger than any 9 to 5 job will ever allow you to have. And I always say, like, I just turned 30 this year. I feel like we're just starting. I feel like up until this point, I've failed up until this success that I've had. And now I really feel like, okay, giddy up. Now we know where we're going. Now we know how to do things. Now we're starting to make sense and we're starting to see what's working and how to do things that create more consistent results. So imagine in the next 10 years, because Pageant Gals, we go all in. And with all that being said, again, if this episode was supportive for you, if this lit something up within you, share this episode to your stories. You can send me a message. I always love to hear your insights, your ahas, your takeaways. And of course, if you are ready to start or scale your own pageant related business, not only do we have the most incredible pageant space ever, the Queen Collective, but the Queen Collective now has a brand new track too for women who want consistent support on building their brand and business online. We have an amazing group of women in there. It's 6 or 12 months. We've just recently launched it, and it is the space to be for pageant women building their empire beyond the crown. But it's also got pageant prep in there because I know my pageant gals, they always be competing. So you definitely still get the elements of pageant prep, but also the business support there. So I'm going to leave a link below that you can apply for the Queen Collective track two. And if you are like, this sounds like it is for me, send a message, drop an application in, and I would love to chat with you and have you in because if there's one thing that I know, it's that you can do way bigger things than you're allowing yourself to be, see, or do right now. And I am that expander for you to help you be like, girl, let's get started. Chin up, crown on, and let's go build you a freaking empire. I will see you all in the next episode.